This is a short form claymation video, except nobody sculpted anything. And I'm about to find out whether this is the best time in history to make something like this or the absolute worst. You see, my friend Sharon and I are making a series about a family of fish who live in a murky pond in the South. The only thing is, she's in Atlanta, I live in California, we both have full-time jobs, and we've never animated anything ever before. But I've always loved and wanted to make something like stop motion since I was a kid. I love The Night Before Christmas, I love Coraline, Fantastic Mr. Fox, but there was never a version of my life where I could feasibly make something like this. Until now. But if the tools exist that let the two of us do this, it means everybody can do this, which is either great news or makes it kind of tough. So Sharon and I are gonna find out for ourselves, and we're doing it with the following rules. 1 is we're gonna make 10 shorts. 2, we're gonna upload this on a brand new channel with 0 subscribers. And 3, I'm not linking this anywhere until it's done. And before any of this goes live, I'm gonna go forward and say all my predictions. I'm gonna guess how much I think this is gonna cost, if we get any better at all throughout this process. And finally, I'm gonna guess if anyone's actually gonna watch any of this at all. Then once it's launched, I'll come back and I'll share the results and we'll see if I was close at all. But before I show you what we made, it helps to show you what this used to take to make. Let's look at my favorite movie, Coraline. It took over 4 years and 300 people to make it. We're talking animators, voice actors, machinists building little tiny skeletons inside of puppets, sculptors, tailors, and an entire 3D printing team that produces tens of thousands of individual faces. And honestly, a huge part of why stop motion is so beautiful is because of all that work. You can feel every single tiny decision that goes into it. But for Sharon and me, this was never feasible. We have full-time jobs, we're busy, we live across the country, and it's just like a ton of work. But now with AI, we can create any character we want. We can design any set we want, and we can do it in the art style that we've loved that was previously just truly out of reach. However, making it is only half the problem. I'll get to that second half later. For now, let me show you what we're actually making, and I'll tell you a little bit more about who I'm making it with. This is Sharon. We have been best friends since middle school, and we worked on a ton of projects together from middle school to today. We designed theater sets, we've built sets, we've written scripts and done so many different things. And so when we started this project, we came out with a bunch of different ideas before we landed on a family of fish living in a murky pond in the South. So we had this one idea was a scout troop. And so we followed along on their journey as they went on a hike, basically. Another idea was this island of the lost, where everything that's lost washes up there. So people who've lost political elections, people who are spiritually lost, all those people, they're showing up there. We had this idea of a laundromat where every single washing machine basically is like a portal to a different universe. But ultimately we landed on a family of fish living in a murky pond in the South. That's the idea we had. And it's been really fun to make, but one thing that was really unexpected when making this was how difficult it was to make things consistent. AI is really good at making one character one time, that's really cool. But it's very difficult to make that same character look the same in a consistent environment when camera angles are changing and it's moving in the way you want. So before you generate any of this, you gotta build one of these. Every character needs its own character sheet. So you have the same character, just posed at different angles with different facial expressions. And then you have to do the same thing for the set. So you design the set you want the character to be in, and then you literally create all the different shots you want the camera to have within that set. And then you just combine the two together. So you're like, I want this character in this set from camera angle number 1, or whatever it might be. This is the best way we found to make things consistent, but the models can kind of just do weird things. And after a few generations, sometimes you're just kind of left with the choice of taking a scene, even if it isn't exactly what you would have wanted, just because it can get kind of expensive as you do this over time. But overall, making these set lists and these character sheets have helped a ton with this. Here's one scene. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I'll show you just enough to kind of see what we're working with at this point. Okay, my God, you kids aren't ready? We've got the winter bottom crawl in an hour, and Bobby, come on, Bobby, put that away, please. And Shelby, come on, put on a dress or something. I wanted to take a second to watch this video together and just to sort of react to it live. Okay, my God, you kids aren't ready. Like, my first reaction to this is, I think it's so funny that there is such a crazy tone shift between the rest of this video and then when this, okay, my God. And I just know this came out of nowhere. One thing I do like a lot, and I think we landed really well, is I really love the aesthetics of all this. So I love how it's kind of got this mixed medium look. Like I love the clay from the characters. I love the little outfits that all of the characters have, especially like Bobby's. Like how he's made out of clay, yet he has this like hand knit looking kind of mustard sweater. And I also think the scene itself is quite cool. So if you look back, you can see that like, it looks like a little diorama or a little set that was made. So, you know, the bottom of it has these kind of real looking pebbles and there's like real shards of glass, but then the backdrop is like a painted set. One issue, if you watch the video closely, we got the Winterbottom crawl in an hour and Bobby, come on. Bobby, you can see there's a lot of Shelby issues. So for example, like, first of all, she is randomly angry. And also we see this like jump of everyone disappears around the table. There's still these weird things that happen. And with limited budget, you kind of just like take these different scenes. I think there's some like promising things. Like there's definitely things we need to improve, like continuity being a big one, but I think this is all kind of part of it. Hopefully we get better. Still figuring out, but I think that's part of the process. And I think this is like a really, really solid start.
Surrented as of rising taste, through them feel he sabat.
But the most interesting thing we've actually hit so far is the voices. When we originally did this project, we imagined that all the voices would be entirely AI. And there's a lot of really good sounding AI voices today. Let me play one.
Well, Chuck, my chicken, you found me. Shall we embark on the greatest adventure ever?
It sounds really, really solid, but we found out it was really hard to get that voice to deliver a line exactly how we wanted. There's really two ways to kind of help with AI line delivery today, and we tried both of them. So one is really specify within the text that you give to the AI model how you want a line delivered. So you can be like, say this angrily, say this sadly, say this line really slowly, whatever it might be. And the other is you provide the model with a clip of either you doing a voice or someone else doing a voice, or however you want that line being delivered, you provide the model with that. And then it translates your voice to sound like the model's voice. We tried both of those, but the inflection and the intonation of lines just kind of like kept messing up. So I'll show you a clip of what that sounded like.
Now, Shelby, I want to see a little eye and a little lip.
And we lost her at Shelby.
You never knew who you're doing to be.
She like got held at gunpoint at the end.
You never knew who you're doing to be.
So ultimately, we ended up deciding on doing a mix of things. So some of it's my voices, some of it's Sharon's voices, and some of it are AI voices where we just didn't need as much control. Okay, here are my thoughts on how this is gonna go. It's 5 predictions, and these are made before Sharon and I have gotten the chance to make more than one short. So we're very early onto this. The first one, kind of boring. I don't think we're gonna get many views for the first few shorts. Remember how I said making was only half the problem? The other half is getting anyone to see it. The math here is brutal. People upload 82 years of footage on YouTube every single day. And that's a figure that YouTube gave us in 2020. It's the last time they've given us a figure like this. This was before shorts were added to YouTube. This is for AI videos, so the figure is definitely higher and nobody knows what the figure is outside of Google. And we're putting this on a brand new channel with no subscribers or anything behind it. It's also Sharon's and my first time playing around with AI video creation tools. And it's also our first time trying to really storytell within 60 seconds. So it's a bunch of brand new skills for us. Additionally, these are entertainment videos. So they're not really in like a clear niche. So no one's exactly able to like search for this or find this. So like I said, this might be the best time in history to make things like this, but it is also maybe one of the hardest times in history to make people actually pay attention to it. Second prediction is that the trend will move upward. As we continue posting, we're gonna get better with AI tools, we'll get better at succinct story writing. So I think over time we can get more views, especially as YouTube starts seeing the audience who likes to see animated claymation family of fish in a murky pond in the south. So once YouTube figures out that niche, we will get probably a lot of views. I hope. Third prediction, the money. Okay, so our first short cost us about $100 to make. And that's because we had no idea what we're doing. So if we don't improve at all and we make 10 shorts, we should expect this whole thing to cost about $1,000. But I'm thinking a lot of that was just us figuring things out and learning. And so I think we could at least get to half that cost just from getting smarter and better at using the tool. Also, I'm toying around with the idea of making my own tool that hooks directly with the video generation models. That way I'm not having to pay any premium that Higgsfield puts on things, so that also could potentially drive down our costs. Okay, fourth prediction is I think people will be able to tell that it's AI. A big part of that is the cost. Sometimes you just have to take a clip or a piece of footage that was generated that isn't necessarily perfect because the models are kind of being weird and it's just too expensive to make things look perfect. So we might occasionally have some clips that seem slightly off. I'm hoping we don't have too many, but that's a very real possibility. Additionally, the video will be labeled as AI. So people will be able to tell that it's AI. So it's not exactly a secret, but I think some people will maybe point out specific scenes and be like, that's AI. To which we can say, yeah, it's labeled as AI. Okay, the fifth prediction is some people will not like that we have such a borrowed look. The huge reason why claymation is so special is because of all the work that goes into it. And we didn't do any of that work. We didn't. We just generated a video that borrowed its aesthetic. So any complaints we get about that, of us borrowing the aesthetic of so many hours that normally goes into a process like this, is completely fair. I'm curious to see how many comments we get like that. I would actually anticipate if it reaches certain crowds, especially people who might like claymation, like traditional claymation, we will get comments about that. So I think a lot of it depends on what audience we end up getting served to, but there is a really real chance that we get a lot of comments about that. Then once all 10 videos are up, I'm gonna come back and we'll see how off I was or right on I was on all these different predictions. So subscribe to follow along. Next video is all about the details of how we made everything. We will walk through the process, we'll walk through what broke, our inspirations behind everything, and then after that video, I'll upload all the shorts and we'll see what happens.